Hello, my name's Gabriel and I have what they call schizophrenia. Today's video is about how you can do anything you set your mind to. So in 2020, in the summer of 2020, well, let's start off with the spring of 2020. I was weaning myself off of clozapine. And June, I was at 50 milligrams, so I was almost fully weaned off. Because I thought I didn't have schizophrenia. Now what ended up happening is I did blood work, and the pharmacy told me to stop taking the clozapine for 2 days. I then get blood work again, and if the blood work resolved itself, then I could start taking it again. So I was so fed up with taking clozapine that when they told me that I had to stop taking it, I went from 50 to 0 milligrams, and I stopped taking it, but I didn't actually end up starting it again. Because the thing with clozapine is if they check your blood work once a month, and if your blood work comes back funny, they have to stop the clozapine depending on how bad it is. And then they do blood work again. If it's back to normal, you go back on the clozapine. So I was at 50 milligrams. I was going to wean myself to 25 and then 0 within the next month. But they told me to stop taking it and then start taking it again in 2 days. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm done. So I stopped taking the pills completely. And I ended up sleeping with my eyes open. I was withdrawing. I had horrible brain zaps. I was having nightmares, horrible nightmares, sleep paralysis. I was sleeping with my eyes open and seeing spirits. And the reason I know that I was sleeping with my eyes open is because my entire dream, I would have dreams where I was staring across my bed. So if I was sleeping facing this way, my entire dream would be me staring at the wall ahead of me, but with with other shit in it too, like black figures and stuff. So it's basically my entire. I'd sleep for 6 hours in the night, and when I woke up, I realized that it's not like I closed my eyes, opened, and woke up. It's like I literally woke up with my eyes already open, and that was really confusing because it made me not know when I was dreaming or awake. There was no difference. The withdrawal from the clozapine was so bad, and I was going into such a bad psychosis that when I was dreaming, I thought that was the real world, and when I woke up, I couldn't tell what was real. And I was having really messed up dreams of spirits pretending to be good, and then saying that they needed to suffocate me, so they would stand on my throat and try and smother me. And basically, it was really fucking twisted. It was really messed up. And then I went into psychosis, and I had like this vision of what love really means. And this vision was like, it doesn't matter what you do in your life, the source of love loves you unconditionally. And the feeling was so strong that I was crying. I was crying out of happiness. And then I had this song stuck in my head. I'm not going to say what song it is, but it was stuck in my head and I was singing it. And then I had this epiphany, this realization about, it's so messed up. I had this epiphany that I don't know how to explain it. It's like I was standing over the person who made the song when he made it before I was born, and now the song is speaking through me, through my awakening. It's hard to explain, and I still believe to this day that song has a connection to me. I still believe I have a part of. I believe I've had a part of the creation of it, but before I was born. And it might sound crazy, but that's the epiphany I had. The love was so strong. I was crying out of happiness. The music was It's like I was crying for my soul. I was crying for my soul, and no amount of tears could make me stop crying. I was crying for 3 weeks straight. Every time I listened to the song, I probably listened to it like 10 times a day, and I was crying every fucking time. And that might sound really weird to someone who just lives a regular life, but to someone with schizophrenia, I'm sure you can possibly relate in your own ways. But yeah, I went through such an intense psychosis, and the point of this video is, it doesn't matter how bad your psychosis was, the types of experiences that you've had. You just have to remember that sorry, I have trouble concentrating sometimes. Always remember that even if your psychosis has caused you post-traumatic stress, to the point where you can't even leave your room, to the point where you're having panic attacks. I used to think my panic attacks were heart attacks because the voices were saying that they were going to induce a heart attack to try and kill me, and then my heart would start racing. But I realize now that it's panic attacks. So yeah, that pretty much the entire summer, the voices would say, we're going to make your heart race, blah, 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 blah. You're going to have a heart attack. You'll be dead in 3 minutes. And then my heart would start doing this, and it was beating so fast I could hear it in my head. And it was beating so fast that my arms would go numb because of the amount of blood flow, the circulation, and how fast it was happening. But it turned out to be panic attacks. But I really believed I was having strokes and heart attacks. I really did, because schizophrenia has a way of making things happen at a perfect timing to make you believe in your hallucinations. But I realize now that what was happening is the voices were stressing me out, and when they counted down, when they reached 1, it made me freak out, so I dissociated, which made me feel like I wasn't in my body, and then I had a panic attack. My heart would start racing, and because my heart was racing and I was having a panic attack, my arms would go numb, and then I was really dizzy. But all those things made me believe that I was dying, and it would happen 10 times a day. So if you can imagine what it's like to think you're having a heart attack 10 times a day at the age of 21, and living in this nightmare of just lies, your voice is telling you lies, these voices, like even tactile hallucinations, the voice, I would hear the voice and then it would touch me. It's like, where is this coming from? How is my brain doing this? And the fact that why is my brain against me? I don't understand. But I came back from it. I travel now. I moved to Calgary for like 6 weeks or something like that. Got my own apartment, but I moved back because the smoke quality was getting bad. And but yeah, now I'm able to, when the money's right, I'm able to travel, fly across Canada. I set my passport forms in yesterday, so I'll have a passport in about 6 weeks. And then once I have my passport, I'll visit the US, Mexico, some European countries, maybe some parts of Africa. But things always get better. Things will always get better. Doesn't matter what situation it is. Doesn't matter how bad your psychosis was or what problems you're dealing with. Things will always get better. As long as you follow the right path and stay on the right treatment. So I'm back on clozapine. I'm also on Seroquel. So I'm on 475 milligrams of clozapine and 100 milligrams of Seroquel at night. And I might get 2 PRN Seroquels for the daytime when I need it. But yeah, things always get better. If you're in psychosis right now and you're watching this, and you don't believe you're in psychosis, and you just feel like the world is crumbling apart. Your world is falling apart. Everything you've ever known is falling apart and crumbling right before your eyes. Just listen to me carefully. I know what it's like to not know what's going on, to be confused, to be hearing voices arguing with each other, telling you not to do this, telling you, oh, don't grab that cup. If you grab that cup, it'll cause a chain reaction that will lead to your death. Oh, listen to me, you gotta do this because if you don't do this, the whole world will be ruined. I know what that's like. And I had to really get that one moment of clarity and put the pieces together and realize that I do have schizophrenia. And then I had to get back on the meds as soon as possible. And luckily I was able to do this without going to the hospital. But if you feel like you're in danger, please go to the hospital. Admit yourself voluntarily if you feel like that's the best thing to do. And when you feel like you're okay, you can discharge yourself. If you go in voluntarily, you can discharge yourself. But just get back on the right meds and everything will be all good. And it's not all meds either. You're going to want to get on the right meds, and then you're going to want to kind of rewire your brain while the meds are working. And eventually you will forget, but you will still have what you learned about your psychosis. For me, what I learned is to never trust a voice. Even if it says it's God or anything, I tell it to F off. And I don't feel guilty about it. But when I was in psychosis, I would probably feel guilty about it. But I don't feel guilty about it anymore. Because those voices almost led me off a cliff. And if God really wanted me to be in that kind of state, I don't think he's God. I really don't. Because why would I sit and suffer for somebody else? Why would I sit here and suffer and watch my world crumble apart just because I thought I was a prophet? What good is it to be a prophet if it destroys your life? What good is it to be any of these things? You gotta ask yourself these questions. And one of the big things for me is, it was like, but if I start taking my meds again, I'm gonna be a normal person, and then everything that I've learned I'm gonna forget about, or I'm going to not believe in myself anymore. And it's not really true. You do, like, the important things that matter to you in your psychosis will stick with you. But the nightmare stuff will start to become a lot clearer, and you'll notice that it was just schizophrenia. You don't have to live in a nightmare. There's no God that's trying to make you suffer. You don't owe anybody anything. The only person you owe something to is yourself. And if your psychosis is leading you off a cliff, leading you down a bad path, you owe it to yourself to get better. I went through, it probably took me a good 6 months to recover. My psychosis started at the beginning of July. I realized it was schizophrenia on August 6th of 2020. And I was on olanzapine. Even in my psychosis, I started taking olanzapine in July. But that wasn't enough for me. So I started taking clozapine again in September, I believe, of 2020. And here I am. And by the way, time goes by fast. Time goes by super fast. Like, it's now November 2021. But when you get back on the meds, just time speeds up, and before you know it, you're back on your feet again. You're able to do things. You're able to get on planes again. You're able to, like in December, I'm getting my G2. A G2 is, right now I have my G1. It's a learner's permit for driving. But in December, I get my G2, which means I can drive anywhere by myself in the province of Ontario. So I can drive to Toronto, I can drive to Ottawa, I can drive to Niagara Falls. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And I may visit British Columbia for the third time in December. But yeah, things are starting to finally look up for me. And always remember, if you're in psychosis, one of the things that helped me is watching videos about schizophrenia. And then you start to see these videos, and it's like, you see these videos and you finally know that's schizophrenia because people are sharing the exact same stories that you went through. So yeah, like in August, I started watching videos on schizophrenia, and I just started finding these documentaries and videos, and people were explaining the exact same, similar, very identical beliefs and delusions and hallucinations. And I finally breathed that sigh of relief, knowing that it was just schizophrenia. So I promise any of you out there that you will get better as long as you make the right decisions, take your meds, and do the mental work. I made it back from my psychosis, so you can too. And everything will work out. So yeah, that's pretty much the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. If you have any questions, also let me know. Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in another video. My name is Gabriel, and I have what they call schizophrenia. See you in another video.